I'm the bodyguard of a female CEO, a professional bodyguard she hired for tens of billions. I'm supposed to be by her side at all times to protect her. But when she was being harassed by a bunch of thugs, panicked and helpless, I just stood there watching coldly as if everything happening right in front of me had nothing to do with me. I even leisurely unwrapped a white rabbit milk candy and popped it into my mouth. Deep down, I knew exactly what was going on. Based on my years of experience watching short dramas with this kind of hero saving the beauty plot, the main character would definitely show up right on cue. I glanced up at the second floor and sure enough, I saw a man in a male suit, staring intently at the besieged CEO, the corners of his mouth curled up into a perfect smirk. 3 parts mocking, 3 parts callous, and 4 parts nonchalant. He was waiting patiently for Shen Bing to be pushed to her most pathetic breaking point by those thugs. Then he'd immediately swoop in like a savior, the classic hero saving the beauty. Word has it this guy's name is Yeshen, a top-tier martial arts master from the deep mountains, also known as the Dragon King. The waiter next to me saw that I wasn't moving an inch, so he stepped up and gave me a shove. "Hey, bodyguard, are you blind? Your boss is about to get taken advantage of." I ignored him and walked steadily toward the corner of the wall. Mounted on the wall was a red emergency fire alarm box. On the noisy dance floor, the thug smiled wickedly and reached out to grab Shen Bing Unk's arm. Up on the second floor, Yian's aura shifted, getting ready to jump down. I didn't hesitate anymore. I smashed the glass with my hand and pressed the button. The next second, a piercing fire alarm blared through the room, instantly drowning out the music. Then the sprinklers on the ceiling all clicked open at once. Water started spraying everywhere. I strained my neck and screamed at the top of my lungs, "Help, save me." While I was at it, I bent down and grabbed the dry powder fire extinguisher in the corner. I gripped the nozzle tightly and sprayed it right at the thugs. On the dance floor, white powder billowed everywhere. The thugs, already shivering from the cold water, inhaled a mouthful of dry powder. They completely lost interest in grabbing the CEO. They covered their eyes with both hands, stumbling around in a panic. Yet was also caught off guard by the sudden alarm. Startled and trembling, he slipped in the chaos and fell straight down from the second floor. I took advantage of the confusion, dashed onto the dance floor, and hoisted Shen Bing, who had already lost consciousness, onto my shoulder. She struggled on my shoulder, her hands flailing wildly. "Let me go. The emergency exit is jammed right now if you fall and get trampled. Who's going to pay my salary this month?" I carried Shen Bing steadily, my footsteps precise, dodging the frantic crowd. I kicked open the back door of the bar. The bar behind us had descended into total chaos. I could faintly hear Yidian roaring from upstairs, furious and humiliated. Who pressed the alarm? This was my chance. I pursed my lips, opened the car door, and shoved the soaking wet Shen Bing inside. This rescue operation could be called a textbook classic. Shen Bing Unk's face was as red as a ripe tomato. She looked at me with hazy eyes, her body slowly leaning toward the driver's seat. The fragrance on her body mixed with the smell of alcohol wafting into my nose. This was clearly a cliché novel trope. I sighed helplessly and immediately cranked the car's IC down to the lowest setting. Freezing air blasted right at Shen Bing. "Don't. It's too cold. Suck it up. It's physical cooling. Besides, the leather seats in this car are pretty expensive. If you throw up in here, you're paying for the car wash yourself." With that, I stepped on the gas, and the car sped off. Just then my phone suddenly buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "Bring her to room 1208 at the Hillstone Hotel. I can save her. You'll be well rewarded after this. Signed, Yeshen." I glanced at it, replied, "Are you a psycho?" and casually tossed the phone onto the passenger seat. Shen Bing whispered, Hey, I feel so uncomfortable." "Help me." Shen Bing softly called my name from the back seat. Her voice was soft and seductive, so sweet it could melt butter. As soon as she spoke, her warm hand grabbed my arm. By now, her eyes were completely unfocused. Her body was superstimulated that she was losing consciousness. "Hey, hold your horses. We're almost there." "Almost where?" "The hospital." "What?" "The ER for a stomach pumping. In my experience, your condition is acute drug poisoning. The best method is to stick a tube down there, pump everything out of your stomach, and then pour in some activated charcoal." Shemping froze in the back seat for a moment. Immediately after, a desperate scream echoed to the heavens. 10 minutes later, the carved a beautiful arc through the dark night, drifting to a halt right in front of the emergency room. I jumped out of the car and turned toward the nodding ear nurse inside, shouting loudly, "Doctor, hurry, we've got a rich female boss with poisoning. Get a gurney out here quick. You absolutely have to pump her stomach. Use the biggest tube. Don't try to save me any money. She's got premium health insurance." The nurses pushed the emergency gurney out, clattering as they ran. They crowded around and struggled to get the unconscious Shenbing onto the stretcher. Watching her get wheeled into the ER, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. After paying the medical bills, I sat down in front of the closed ear doors, devouring a roasted sweet potato. Right at that moment, at the end of the hallway, hurried but heavy footsteps echoed. I looked up. It was Ye Tian in his Mayo suit. He was running fast, his forehead dripping with sweat. When he saw me with half a sweet potato still in my hand, his pupils shrank. He was clearly stunned for a moment, then his whole face contorted in anger. Why is Bing Bing in there getting her stomach pumped? The scene in there is probably an indescribable mess. Damn it. This kind of poison. Can mortal medicine even cure it? Only my Thai divine needle combined with my exclusive internal energy can force the toxins out. You're harming her with that. He tried to barge in. I stuffed the rest of the sweet potato into my mouth and took a long stride to block the door. Hey buddy, this is a hospital. That's the ICU. Y'all want to go in and treat patients. Show me your papers. A medical license, even an unofficial one, is fine. A medical internship certificate, a hospital consultation invitation. Oh right, you look like you just came out of the mountains. Did you even bring your ID card? Hearing this, Yetin froze completely. He had spent 10 years in the mountains learning martial arts and medicine. No one ever told him you needed a certificate to save people. I am the successor of Ghost Valley. I don't need those scrap papers to save lives. Hey, you want to get physical? I immediately pointed at the camera. 360-degree security. No blind spots. High definition, right above your head, see that? Recording the whole process. You lay one finger on me and I'm dropping to the floor. I've got high blood pressure. My heart isn't great either. I'll drop right here. Don't even think about leaving without paying me 200 million. Security. We've got a troublemaker over here. Someone's trying to break into the operating room. He's even holding needles in his hand. Those are lethal weapons. As soon as I said that, 3 security guards rushed over with riot shields. Yetin looked at the scene, his face turning purple with rage like a pig's liver. He was the majestic Dragon King. He had never suffered such humiliation before. With a flick of his wrist, several silver needles flew out with a swish, shooting straight toward the security guard's pressure points. I immediately reached out and grabbed the stainless steel trash can in the hallway. Then I slid one step forward. Clang, clang, clang. A few crisp sounds and I deflected all the needles. You dare assault security personnel? I didn't expect you to be a martial artist. Today I will clean house on Shinbing Unk's behalf and you freeloading parasite. He stepped forward erratically, his whole body shifting, turning into a blur of black. He thrust his palm toward my chest. I didn't dodge at all. Instead, I actively puffed out my chest while fishing my phone out of my pocket. In turning on the video recording, he landed a heavy palm strike on my chest. A very solid force transferred over. I went with the momentum and fell backward, my body like a torn sack, flying 3 m away. Someone's assaulting people. I'm dying. I scrambled around on the floor, clutching my chest and rolling back and forth in fake agony. My voice was as tragic as a cat getting its tail stepped on. My bones are broken. My internal organs are ruptured. I can't see anything anymore. I can't see help. What are you faking? I only used 30% of my strength. 30% is still strength. Everyone saw it. He knows martial arts. He's trying to kill me. I kept screaming tragically while secretly holding up my phone to record. Not long after, the figures of the law enforcement team finally appeared. 2 officers pushed the doors open and rushed in. Their pupils suddenly shrank, clearly shocked by the scene before them. A menacing thug standing aggressively in the middle and a bodyguard clutching his chest on floor, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. Officers, please listen to me. I am the Dragon King. I've been framed. I don't care if you're the Dragon King or the Water King. Where's your ID? Take them away. Watching Yeti's back as he was put in silver handcuffs and escorted away, I immediately stopped yelling and got up from the floor. Expressionless, I dusted off my pants. My ribs actually did hurt a bit, but it's fine. I'll just count it as a workplace injury. I'll have to get Shenbing to reimburse me later and make her pay extra for hazard pay. The next morning, Shenbing finally woke up slowly. She sat on the hospital bed, her face pale, her throat so hoarse she could barely speak. What exactly happened last night? Why am I here? I reported the entire incident from last night in a systematic and straightforward manner. I placed special emphasis on how calmly I called the police during the emergency, how professionally I arranged her emergency transport, and my heroic feat of protecting her despite being injured by the bad guy. You're saying Yishin wanted to save me and ended up getting sent to the police station by you. Actually, he's the fiancé my grandfather arranged for me. Oh, then it's even more serious. A fiancé drugging you. That calls for a heavy sentence. You who said he drugged me. Whoever benefits the most is the most suspicious. Anyway, the police are investigating at Boss Shen. Let's not worry about him for now. Let's discuss the expenses. Registration fee 50, stomach pumping and ER fee 800 plus my medical bills, emotional distress fee and night shift allowance. Total comes to 58,000. Janghu, did you fall into a money pit? I almost lost my purity and all you care about is this pocket change. Boss Shen, ours is an employer-employee relationship. I took a palm strike and it really hurt. Talking about feelings these days is a good way to lose money. If you feel my service wasn't up to par, you can file a complaint, but you still have to pay up. I'll transfer it to you. I'm sending a H100000. The remaining 42,000 is for you to keep your mouth shut. Get lost. You got it, boss. Very generous of you. My phone pinged with a payment notification. I immediately stood up, straightened my back, and gave a crisp bow. Then I'll head back and simmer some soup for you. The doctor specifically ordered, after a stomach pumping, you can only have liquid food. Shenbing wearily waved her hand, looking completely annoyed, an expression that said she didn't want to speak another word to me. I walked out of the hospital room and opened my phone. Looking at the newly increased balance, I couldn't help but happily hum a little tune. But thinking about it, this definitely wasn't over. That Yidang guy definitely has some serious backing. Once he gets released, he definitely won't let this go. As night fell, I escorted Shenbing back to her brightly lit mega mansion. Unlike other bodyguards who patrol around the yard, I found a small stool and sat firmly right at the main gate. Then I set up a pot, started a fire, boiled some water, and cooked a piping hot pot of luau snail noodles. At midnight, several dark figures sneaked into the yard. If my guest was right, the Dragon King's revenge had arrived. The lead guy in black had just climbed over the wall. He took one sniff and almost threw up. I slurped a mouthful of noodles, looked up at the guys who were tearing up from the stench on the wall, and flashed a friendly smile. Hey brothers, have you eaten? If not, come over and have a bite. With that, I kicked the high-voltage power cord lying bare on the ground. It slowly slid into the freshly watered grass in front of me. A very rhythmic, sizzling sound came from the grass, accompanied by the black-clad assassins, convulsing wildly like they were breakdancing, holding my bowl of snail noodles. I calmly glanced at my watch. 3213 agile, fierce-eyed assassins were now lying flat like three suffocating fish on the wet grass, foaming at the mouth, their hair standing on end like Super Saiyans. I told you guys to come down and eat some noodles. Did you really have to take it this far? Saying that, I put the bowl down, put on my insulated gloves, and walked over to reel in the offending power cord. Then I squatted down and patted the lead assassin's face. I fished a dagger out of his jacket and then pulled out an assassination plan. It even had a floor plan of the villa drawn on it, marking the location of Shenbing's bedroom. So professional. Area assassins this dedicated nowadays. This plan is more detailed than my weekly reports. I took out my phone and expertly snapped some photos. Hello, Inspector Lee. Ah, yes, it's me again, it's Zhang Hu. No, everything's fine, just had a few burglars break in, probably trying to steal my snail noodle recipe. I've already subdued them. Yeah, they accidentally electrocuted themselves. The wiring here is too old. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. Yes, sorry to bother you. Hanging up now. I look at the 3 lumps of achievements on the ground, calculating in my head if this counted as a major merit. Could I ask Shenbing for double the year-end bonus? Half an hour later, sirens tore through the silence of the villa district. Shenbing was woken up. She hastily threw on a nightgown, her hair messy as she stood on the second-floor balcony. What are you doing now? Nothing, boss, just caught a few food delivery guys. I mean delivering XP. Go back to sleep. I'm going to file a report. I'll be back in a bit and bring you some breakfast. With that, I handed the notebook with the plan to Inspector Lee. Here's the evidence. These guys are definitely organized. There's definitely a big fish behind them. I suggest a strict investigation, especially that guy named Dragon King who just got bilaid out. He's the most suspicious. By the time everything was sorted out, it was already morning. With dark circles under my eyes, I drove Shen Bing to the company. Her complexion had recovered quite a bit today, returning to freckled, arrogant look of a female CEO. It's just that the way she looked at me was a bit probing. Were those people targeting me last night? What else? You think they were after my snail noodles? Boss Shen, you sure make a lot of enemies, huh? But don't worry. As long as the money is right, not even a fly will get within 3 FT of you. As soon as the car stopped in front of the Sheen Group building, I spotted a familiar figure. It was none other than Yan. This buddy had changed into a new outfit. He wasn't wearing the Mayo suit anymore, but had switched to an extremely tight-fitting, flashy white suit. Holding a giant bouquet of red roses, he stood in front of the company's main entrance. Striking the pose of a melancholy prince, I parked the car, got out, and opened the door for Shen Bing. As soon as Shen Bing saw Yeshen, her eyebrows knitted together tightly. How did he get out? Lawyers, obviously. Besides, he didn't actually succeed in treating you yesterday, and he didn't beat me to a pulp either. At most, it's considered disturbing the peace. They couldn't hold him for long. Seeing Shin Bing Yian Unk's eyes lit up, he hurriedly walked over. Binger, I'm so glad you're okay last night. Someone set me up. I couldn't be there for you. I'm so sorry you had to suffer. I'm here today to make it up to you. Shen Bing takes a step back. Mister. Yeah, please have some self-respect. Besides, if it weren't for you last night, I wouldn't have ended up in the hospital. That was just a misunderstanding. Binger, please listen to me. It was all this useless bodyguard's fault. He framed me on purpose. Binger, fire him. Starting today, I'll be your personal bodyguard. I don't need a salary. All I need is to protect you. I was stunned. This guy was trying to steal my job. Mr. Yeah, you can't just make baseless accusations. I have a formal 3-year contract with the Shen Group. Shen Group, full social security, health insurance. You want my boss to fire me? Fine. According Taliban laws, wrongful termination requires double severance pay. Plus, I just had a work-related injury. I'm still in my recovery period. Firing me right now is illegal. I could sue. Boss, I know you're rich, but we don't need to waste money on a lawsuit like this, do we? Besides this, Mr. Guy doesn't have a professional bodyguard license, no health certificate, and certainly no criminal background check. There's no way the company's HR department would ever hire him. Yet Tyne was hit by my barrage of professional terms. He was completely stunned. I am the great Dragon King. Being your bodyguard is an honor you don't deserve. You think I need a license for that, of course. See this. Even the security chief, Wang, has a certificate of excellence. What do you have? Or maybe a certificate of insanity. Yetun's rage became uncontrollable. With a flick of his hand, an invisible wave of energy erupted. The surrounding flower petals were blasted away, scattering everywhere. Chief Wang's security, we have a troublemaker at the main gate. He's making personal threats. Bring the riot shields, and while you're at it, call the cops. Tell them it's the same guy who caused a scene at the hospital yesterday. He's back and causing trouble at the company. You want to play gangster, huh? I'll remember your face. Yi. Tyne gritted his teeth and threw the bouquet to the ground. Binger, you just wait. I'll prove that this useless bum can't protect you. In a few days at your grandfather's birthday banquet, I'll give you a surprise. With that, he turned to leave. Before he left, he tried to show off his lightness skill by leaping over the flower bed, but he slipped on a freshly watered paving stone. He stumbled and nearly fell flat on his face. I watched him go, shaking my head. Non-slip soles are a must, -1 point. Even though Yishin was gone, his words left Shenbing with a heavy heart. My grandfather, his health really hasn't been good lately. The hospital can't find the cause. He's just getting weaker and weaker. Yet Tian said he could cure him, and my grandfather really trusts him. Can't find the cause, huh? Usually in cases like this, it's either an extremely rare, incurable disease or someone is secretly giving the old man things that react badly with each other. What are you trying to say? Nothing. Just professional instinct. Didn't that Yesheng guy just come down from the mountains? How would he know your grandfather was sick and be so confident he could cure him? This whole scenario feels very familiar. It's a classic setup. First, let the old man get critically ill, so the doctors are helpless. Then he swoops in with a miracle pill. The old man is instantly cured, maybe even does a little dance. And then he announces your engagement, right? He wouldn't be that despicable, would he? You can know a person's face but not their heart. When the birthday banquet comes in a few days, I'll go with you. This counts as a business trip, by the way. Overtime pay. The weekend arrived quickly. I went with Shen Bing to the Shen family's old estate. The place was built like a royal mansion. The entrance was lined with luxury cars. I was in my cheap suit. Walking next to the dazzling Shen Bing, I looked like an ugly duckling that had wandered into a flock of swans. As soon as we entered the main hall, we saw a silver-haired old man in a wheelchair. His face was sallow, his breathing faint. A crowd of people surrounded him, all with somber expressions. Yet Tian was dressed even more like a Taoist priest. He wore a long robe and carried a wooden box in his hand. Looking like some other worldly master, he said, "Binger, you're here. This is a family gathering today. Outsiders should probably wait outside. I'm President Shin's personal bodyguard. My contract requires me to be on duty 24/7. What if someone tries to poison the food at the banquet? I'm responsible for food safety. Poison? Ignorant fool. Old Master Shen, rest assured. Today I have brought the secret elixir from my sect, the 9 Revolution Soul Returning Pill. Just one pill is guaranteed to cure your illness instantly and extend your life." He then opened the wooden box. A strong smell of Chinese herbs filled the air. Inside was a pitch-black pill. The surrounding relatives all gasped in amazement. "My God, is that the legendary miracle pill? Young Master Yi is so thoughtful. Good, very good, young man." Yea, Tyne smugly picked up the pill. He was about to put it in the old man's mouth. Yea, Yin smugly picked up Thepil. He was about to put it in the old man's mouth. Stop. I shot forward like an arrow. I grabbed Yin's wrist. The entire hall fell silent. Everyone stared at me like I was a madman, yet was so furious. His eyes looked like they would pop out. "You street rat, what are you trying to pull now? If you interfere with the old master's treatment, can you bear the consequences? I'm doing this to ensure the safety and life of the old master. Does this pill have a production date, an expiration date, a registration number from the Drug Administration, an ingredient list, a list of side effects? This is a celestial pill. It was refined using ancient methods. How could it have a production number? It's priceless, boss. This is a 3-no product. You can't eat this. The elderly have weak digestive systems. What if he gets heavy metal poisoning? Cinnabar and mercury are standard ingredients in alchemy. You know, nonsense. Stop it. Don't get physical. Everyone's watching. If you want to prove there's nothing wrong with thighs, it's simple. We can just have it tested. Or you could eat one first and see what happens." With lightning speed, I reached out and snatched the pill from his hand. Then without hesitation, I broke it in half. Yeah, Tyne let out a heart-wrenching scream. I popped one half into my mouth and started chewing. With lightning speed, I reached out and snatched the pill from his hand. Then without hesitation, I broke it in half. Yet Tian let out a heart-wrenching scream. I popped one half into my mouth and started chewing. Soft and smooth texture. Melts in your mouth with a hint of nutty flavor. Isn't this just mochi? The cocoa-dusted kind, too. A little sticky, though, Mr. Ye. You must have bought this during a supermarket sale, right? It's really mochi. If you don't believe me, have a taste. I handed the other half to a family doctor, a very reputable-looking man standing nearby. The doctor took it, sniffed it, and tasted a small piece. His expression also turned strange. Indeed, the main ingredients are cocoa powder and sugar. Ha ha, the medicinal essence is on the inside. You've ruined my miracle pill. Stop it. I just took a look at the old master's condition. Sallow complexion, cloudy eyes, and his breath has a rotten apple smell. These are clear signs of diabetic ketoacidosis, and you were about to feed him something sweet. Are you trying to kill him so you can inherit the family fortune? Get him to a hospital for an insulin shot. Now the main hall erupted into chaos once again. Shenping looked at me, her eyes filled with astonishment. You even know medicine? Not really. My second uncle died from this. You picked things up after a while, yet was frozen on the spot, still holding the empty box. He'd become the biggest joke in the entire hall. Outside the villa, yet he blocked our car. This time he didn't waste words. His eyes revealed a genuine killing intent. Street rat. You've ruined my plans time and time again. Today not even the Jade Emperor himself can save you. He tore off his flashy suit, revealing the solid muscle underneath. A current of cheese swirled around him. The fallen leaves on the ground were swept into the air. It looked like he was about to unleash his ultimate killing move. Terrified, Shinbing gripped my sleeve. What do we do? It looks like he really knows martial arts. I unbuckled my seat belt. As I got out of the car, Yeti formed a hand seal and began to chant, "Heaven and earth are limitless. Universe reversal. Dragon's roar of the 9 heavens first form." While he was still striking a pose, powering up and reciting his lines, I opened the trunk. I pulled out a red cylindrical object. I pulled the pin, aimed it straight at Yeon, and yelled, "Eat this, take this, eat this." Yet let out a roar. Just as he was about to charge, a powerful stream of white dry powder smoke like a giant dragon shot out instantly. It blasted him right in the face, covering his entire body. It was a four-caliber high-press car fire extinguisher. Yay! Tian's dragon's roar off the 9 heavens turned into a coughing fit. Choking, he was sprayed so badly he couldn't even open his eyes. All that internal energy and true ki was useless against the suffocating cloud of dry powder. While he was still rubbing his eyes, I used a standard grappling hold to pin him to the ground. I pressed my knee into his back. Villains always die from monologuing. Didn't your master ever teach you that? Is it over just like that? What else? You want us to fight for 300 rounds. President Shen, this fire extinguisher will be 200 yuan on the expense report. Stop struggling, Dragon King. These are industrial-grade zip ties. The more you struggle, the tighter they get. I've already called the mental hospital. Told him there's a patient with severe delusions of grandeur who's running wild and attacking passers-by. The car started and drove off. In the rearview mirror, Yeton was screaming in despair, but his voice was quickly carried away by the wind. Yeton might be locked up, but his legend lives on. I heard his Ashura Hall has 100,000 Death Squad soldiers scattered across the globe. I thought it was just a bunch of hot air until the third morning. The main lobby of the Shen group was blocked by 4 bizarrely dressed individuals. These 4 were a mix of tall, short, fat, and thin, each with a unique look. One held a large bronze hammer. One carried a long sword. One was playfully handling 2 venomous snakes, and one was dressed like a shamate punk. His hair covered half his face. They stood in the middle of the lobby. Their overwhelming presence made the receptionist tremble with fear. The head of security, Wang, held his rubber baton but didn't dare to step forward. "Hand over Xin Bing, or this place will be painted red with blood." The sound of shattering glass rang out. The big guy with the bronze hammer let out a roar, making the glass doors rattle violently. I happened to be walking in from outside carrying the fried dumplings I bought for Shen Bing. Seeing this scene, my first thought was that debt collectors had arrived. Is this company going bankrupt? Hey, what do you think you're doing? This is a fire exit. It's illegal to block it. Don't you know the rules? Who are you? How dare you meddle in the affairs of the 4 great heavenly kings of the Ashura Palace? I'm President Shin's bodyguard. Did you outsiders register? Do you have an appointment? No appointment, and you're still gathering here to cause trouble. You want me to deduct your credit points. You asking for a beating. Boss, let's take care of him first. The big guy swung his bronze hammer, smashing it straight down at my head. This hammer had to weigh at least 50 lb. It came with a whooshing sound. If this hit me, my head would definitely pop like a watermelon. The female employees around us screamed in terror. I didn't even try to block it. Kidding me? I only make a few grand a month. Why would I risk my life? I took a step back and casually tossed the piping hot pan-fried bun in my hand forward. The big guy reflexively used his hammer to block it. The freshly baked pan-fried bun burst open and splattered against the bronze hammer. The scalding hot soup splashed everywhere, shooting straight into his face. My eyes, you're destroying public property. Do you know these floor tiles are imported from Italy? One tile is 3,800 plus labor and shipping fees. Let's round it up to 20,000. Pay up cash or card. Brothers, take him down. That car at the door with Ashura license plate. 1. A modified off-road vehicle. Whose is it? Illegally modified and blocking the fire exit. Unauthorized structural changes without a permit. Where's the driver? Come out. The tow truck is here. You dare retreat quickly. Don't let them tow the car. They dragged away their boss, who was burned by the pan-fried bun and awkwardly scrambled outside. I looked at their retreating backs and shook my head. I picked up the only surviving pan-fried bun from the ground, blew the dust off, and popped it into my mouth. Wasting food is a sin. Since playing tough didn't work, they started playing dirty. That afternoon, Shen Bing's office was a total mess. This is bad, President Shen. The company's internal system is paralyzed. All the computers are showing the blue screen of death. There's only one line of text on them. Release the Dragon King or we'll delete all the data. This is the work of a top-tier hacker. Our firewall was like paper to them. Did you call the police? What did the cybersecurity team say? The enemy's IP is overseas. It's been routed through hundreds of servers. It's completely untraceable. They threatened that if we don't agree within 10 minutes, they'll leak the formula. For our company's newest product online, the head of the tech department was on the verge of tears. This involves a billion-dollar project. Shen Bing looked at me helplessly. I was sitting in the back playing Fight the Landlord on my phone. Looking at me, I don't know how to code. I barely even know how to use basic software. Then what should we do? Are we just going to sit here and watch? Who said you need a computer to deal with a hacker? They're controlling it remotely. Don't they still need an internet connection? Right. I opened the server box and found the thickest cable, the fiber optic cable with the blinking yellow light. Then I reached out and gave it a hard yank. Pop, the whole world went quiet again. That arrogant skull dialog box on the computer screen completely froze. The data transfer process was stuck. Done. A physical network disconnect. Now, even if he's the god of the internet, there's no way he's stealing a single byte of data from this severed cable. But we can't work like this either. Take out the hard drives, swap them to an offline computer to back them up, then call the ISP to replace the network cable and reinstall the system. Do I really need to teach you this? Shenping looked at me. That look of disdain, treating me like a country bumpkin, had vanished, replaced by a strange sense of admiration. Jiang Hu, how exactly is your brain wired? Wired by poverty. Back in the day when I ran out of money at the internet cafe, the owner would cut off my connection exactly like this. This is called life experience. After the network disconnection incident, Shenping insisted on dragging me along to inspect the company. She said she only felt safe with me around. I really wanted to tell her this was overtime and it would cost extra, but looking at her frightened bunny expression, I swallowed the words right back down. Whatever. Consider it after-sales service. We entered the private elevator, preparing to head down to the parking garage. Just as the elevator doors were about to close, a hand suddenly reached in and blocked them. A man wearing a delivery uniform with his cap pulled low stepped inside. He was holding a large box in his hands, standing in the corner without saying a word. Shenbing didn't pay attention, looking down at her phone, but I narrowed my eyes. This guy had a distinct smell. It wasn't sweat. It was the very faint scent of maintenance oil used for wiping blades, and the webbing between his fingers had thick calluses, the mark of a blade wielder. The elevator went down. In this enclosed space, the air grew increasingly stifling. Suddenly, that delivery guy made his move. He abruptly threw the box aside, his right hand drawing a cold, sharp dagger from his waist, thrusting it straight at Shen Bing-Unk's back. Suddenly, that delivery guy made his move. He abruptly threw the box aside. His right hand drawing a cold, sharp dagger from his waist, thrusting it straight at Shen Bing-Unk's back. His movements were incredibly fast, the true mark of an assassin. Shen Bing saw this through the mirror and was so terrified that the scream caught in her throat. Are you crazy? We're in an elevator on the 18th floor. Something terrible will happen. Better that than getting stabbed by you. Don't come any closer. This is a biochemical weapon. You think a little bottle can scare me? I am Shadow, a professional assassin of the Azura Palace. Take this. My eyes, my throat. Buddy, next time, don't use this stuff in an elevator. The smell is too strong. It won't dissipate. Special circumstances. I'll buy some air freshener later. Defeated 3 times in a row, the Ashura Palace was furious. Rumor had it that Yan's master, the Ghost Valley, old man from the legends, had personally come down the mountain. They said Thistled Geyser was over 100 years old with a youthful face and unfathomable martial arts skills. He had announced the construction of an arena right in front of the Shen Group's gates to challenge me, to determine who was superior and to fight to the death. Shen Bing looked down from upstairs, her heart pounding. Jiang Hu, don't go. That old man doesn't look like someone to mess with. Let's call the cops. Calling the cops is useless. This kind of shameless old geyser. The moment Thecops arrive, he'll just roll around on the ground. Even the cops would give up. To deal with this kind of person, you have to use magic to defeat magic. I walked out the main gate and stood in front of the old man. The old man opened his eyes, his gaze sharp. You are Yung Ho. You harmed my disciple and humiliated my sect. Today, this old man will exact justice on behalf of the heavens. Calm down, old-timer. Fighting in the arena is fine, but we have to go through the procedures first. What kind of sorcery is this? Nothing much, just identity verification. Old-timer, how old are you? This old man is already 103 years old. Oh, how fortunate. So, did you bring your ID card or a senior citizen card? According to our city's security management regulations, senior citizens over 70 who participate in strenuous activities or public gatherings must be accompanied by a guardian and present a recent medical certificate as well as sign a liability waiver. Where is your guardian? What guardian? So, you're a solitary elder. Then that's even worse. What if I throw one punch and you fall over and can't get back up? Who am I supposed to ask for compensation? What if you try to scam me? I still have a mortgage to pay. Hey kid, look what this is. The company is giving out charity gifts. Free eggs for everyone, 10 eggs per person. Limited to the first 50 people. Haha, hurry up if you're late, they'll be gone. Charge nobody, stop me. This old geyser is in the way. Move aside, don't block the way. The doctor is in a hurry, don't push me. Hey, this old body of mine has protective TR. Ouch, ouch. Who stepped on my foot in the face of Chinese aunties? What the hell is the Asher Palace? Jiang Hu, thank you for these past few days. Before I thought you were so vulgar, only caring about money. But now I realize, compared to those hypocrites who constantly preach about morality and righteousness and threaten to destroy the world at the drop of a hat, you're much more reliable. This doesn't sound right. Isthai's a confession. This won't do. A bodyguard falling for their employer is a massive taboo. I'll get my pay docked. Besides, according to the plot progression, once I fall in love, my IQ will drop, turning me into an idiot who only knows how to roar. Who dares touch my woman? Idiot. I cut a piece of steak and popped it into my mouth, mumbling indistinctly. This is a very normal psychological phenomenon. When people are stressed, their heart rate increases. Sometimes it gets confused with the feeling of having a crush. But these two feelings are different. You're just secreting too much adrenaline. Go home and get some sleep. Drink some warm milk. Tomorrow when you look at me again, you'll definitely find me annoying again. You really have no sense of romance at all. I'm being serious. I think we could give it a try. Sure, let's try a raise. This is good. I think my recent performance deserves a 20% raise. Young-hoo, I'm talking to you about feelings. And you're talking to me about money. Talking about money ruins feelings. Talking about feelings ruins money. I wipe my mouth looking sincere. President Shen, I'm just an ordinary guy. I have a mortgage, a car loan, and I want to save up to marry a wife with a big butt who can easily bear children. I can't keep up with your wealthy lifestyle. If you're truly grateful to me, just give me a bigger year-end bonus. That's way more practical than offering yourself to me. Right at that moment, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. Young-hoo, you're feeling pretty smug, aren't you? Don't think you've won just because you beat a few pieces of trash. The true terror of the Ashura Palace. You haven't seen it yet. Tomorrow night at midnight at the abandoned construction site in the west of the city, I've prepared a huge gift for you. If you don't show up, I'll wipe the Shen group off the map. Whose call was that? Some boring guy asked me to meet at an abandoned factory. Can't these villains pick a different spot? If it's not an abandoned factory, it's a cliff. It's full of mosquitoes and has no AC. Zero creativity. Let's go, President Shen. Looks like we can't finish this meal in peace. I need to go prepare some tools. Tomorrow night I'll teach them one final lesson. The next night at 11:00 p.m. I drove Shen Bing to the west side of the city. Yonghu, are we really going with just the two of us? Aren't you going to call for backup? Who said I didn't call for backup? I've brought enough gear. How is this backup? This is called following regulations. Then I parked the car 500 m away from the factory and turned off the engine. You have to wear a hard hat when entering an abandoned construction site. Put it on, President Shen. This color stands out. If you get kidnapped, it'll be easier for the cops to find you. How incredibly thoughtful of you. We carefully stepped into the factory. The place was littered with scrap steel and broken concrete. In the open clearing in the middle, several large oil drums were burning. Ye stood right in the center. Beside him stood someone wearing a mask, a fanged demon mask. Behind them was a massive, dense crowd. Everyone was holding steel pipes and machetes. John Hu, you finally arrived. Master, it's this punk. He's ruined my grand plans time and time again. You've got some guts, kid, daring to mess with the Ashura Palace. Do you have any idea what you're up against? Hey, you guys over there, put out the fire. Aren't you afraid of starting a wildfire by burning things here? Cut the craffin over Shin Bing and I'll give you a quick death. Don't poke your head out. The scene might get a little chaotic in a bit. Are you planning to fight dozens of people all by yourself? Jiang Hu, don't push yourself. Why don't we just hand the company over to them? That's the source of my year-end bonus. Take him out, everyone. Suddenly, a dense buzzing sound filled the air. Over a dozen agricultural drones flew in through the holes in the factory roof, hovering right above everyone's heads. I spent $2,000 renting these from the neighboring village. On my command, the nozzles beneath the drones opened up. My specially crafted concoction. Dirty water rained down. The thugs who charged first were instantly hit. The already uneven ground coated in the thick, dirty water became as slippery as an ice rink. Dozens of people fell like dominoes, piling up on top of each other in a heap. Machetes, guns, and clubs were tossed everywhere. The scene became incredibly awkward and hilarious. Yet then the palace master standing in the back also got splashed with a few drops of dirty water. Their faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. Despicable. Shameless. Do you dare fight me fairly like a real man? I'm a bodyguard, not a gladiator. If a problem can be solved with technology, why shed blood? A destructive energy device has been planted here. Enough to completely wipe this place off the map. No one is leaving here alive. The scene instantly fell dead silent. Even the thugs rolling around on the ground were too terrified to make a sound. Shen Bing poked her head out from behind the pillar, her face pale. Laughter. Hey buddy, do you know the blast radius of a bomb? How big is it? All right, press it. Give it a press. Let's all watch the fireworks together. Pretty romantic, isn't it? You don't come any closer, I'll really press it. The indicator light on the detonator lit up, and then nothing happened. No explosion, no flash of fire, not even a tiny sound. What's going on? It's just a signal jammer. A full-band signal jammer bought online for $250 specifically for jamming radio waves. Your detonator is wireless, right? Is the frequency 315 me or 430 me? Sorry, but within a 500 m radius, even car keys won't work, let alone this Taobawa version. Remote control of yours. This thing, isn't this a sausage? It's just wrapped in a layer of red paper. The massive flood lights around the factory suddenly all turned on at once. Dozens of fully armed police officers swarmed in from all directions. The dark muzzles of their guns were pointed straight at everyone present at the scene. Officer Lee walked over, looked at the chaotic scene, pinched his nose, and patted my shoulder. Jiang Hu, you really made a huge mess this time. Good thing you prepared in advance this time. The scene is under control. The situation is very clear. All inappropriate behaviors can be investigated. Furthermore, this organization's cash flow is highly suspicious. These devices were used to process smuggled goods. The evidence is right here. They exploited the curiosity of young people to carry out illegal profiteering. By the time you get to the core of it, you'll find that it's completely empty inside. Aside from draining everyone's money, there's nothing else. I refuse to accept this. I was just carrying out a special mission. You have no right to arrest me. Stop being delusional. Go back to the station and confess honestly. The law will give you a fair judgment. Junghumather boss, I'd say this was a massive success. As for the bonus, we'll just follow Article 12 of the contract. Before I could even finish, Shen Bing suddenly threw her arms around me. The scent of her perfume mingling with the strange odor of the factory was somehow pleasant. As for the guys around us, they all turned away, pretending to admire the view. Let's stick to the contract for today. Let's not talk about money anymore. I want to discuss extending our contract. A lifetime contract. Whoa, this is workplace harassment, you know. Besides, I come from 3 generations of poor farmers. My dad would break my legs if he found out about this. Then I'll marry you. I'll bring a dowry of several hundred billion. I'll pave the roads, build houses, and construct schools for your hometown. Do you think your dad would agree to that? I swallowed hard. Hundreds of billions. This wasn't just a test of a man's integrity anymore. This was a test of his very soul. 3 months later, Shen Corporation headquarters, CEO's office. I was wearing a custom-tailored suit Shin Bing had ordered for me, sitting on a small stool next to the boss's desk. Shin Bing was signing documents, occasionally looking up to give me a look as gentle as water. Honey, let's go home for dinner tonight, okay? At the office, you will call me Assistant Gang. Besides, who's your husband? We haven't even registered our marriage. Right now, we're in a probationary period. If your performance is unsatisfactory, I can unilaterally terminate the contract at any time. All right, all right. A probationary period it is. Then may I ask Assistant Jang if you would do me the honor, make the arrangements. I have to stop by the police station tonight. I'm bringing some daily necessities to Yin. I heard he's been doing really well in there. He's already the cell block leader. He's even teaching the other inmates Tai Chi. I'm bringing him a copy of the criminal code so he can reform properly. Hopefully, he'll get his life back on track soon. You're such a good person. Discussing personal matters during work hours. That's a pay deduction. This month's salary plus bonus plus emotional damages and an I love you bonus. The pin is the day we first met. I took the card, my fingers trembling slightly. Is this what it feels like to be a kept man? It's so decadent, so corrupt, but man, it feels good. I put the card away and stood up. All right, all right. For money's sake, I'll cook you a 4-course meal at home tonight with 2 sunny side-up eggs. Haha, it's a deal. Then I walked over to the floor-to-ceiling window and looked out at the bustling city below. Who says the protagonist in a story has to fight and claw his way to the top? As a bodyguard who understands the law, technology, and life, living off a rich woman once in a while is the real way to win. That guy wasn't wrong. This world really is insane. But as long as you have a contract in your hand, a phone in your pocket, the police on speed dial, plus a little wisdom and courage, you are the protagonist, the most powerful one in your own safe.